but I have to put her on the side and worry about
I'm gonna
the
do
wood.
what I gotta do for me and my boys and my kids.
Don't say any F's and stuff.
There is no investigation. This boy has.
It's not really. It is to me. Right, idiot.
I've done my best. It's hard, you know. That's real tough.
But I have to put her on the side and worry about the wood.
I'm gonna do what I gotta do for me and my boys and my kids.
Don't say any F's and stuff.
Live from the NVD Production Studios, you're in the lab with your host, Joshua Diaz.
There is no investigation. This boy has.
It's not really. It is to me.
What's happening?
But I have to put her on the side and worry about the wood.
Good to see you.
But I have to.
There is no investigation.
Don't say any F's and stuff.
But I have to put her. But I have to put her on the side and worry about the wood.
Welcome, everybody, to the lab. You know, I almost just said lab after dark because, you know, we've been over there. Matter of fact, if you are so inclined and are up a little later here on the West Coast, we do this thing called Lab After Dark, where we kind of just wrap up things of maybe the day or the week or whatever, and just talk about a bunch of different stuff. We have a good time. And so if you are inclined, you know, please feel free to subscribe to that channel. So I want to thank everybody that is here. And we're gonna talk about some of the goings on that I've really kind of stayed away from. I was just kind of taking stuff in and listening and just kind of wondering, you know, what's going on here. You know, people getting arrested around 110 Ben Hill. Now, I don't think that is something that is new to that area, like most places. And we're going to talk a little bit about Dudley and some other people near the hill and see if that changes anything at all. And I'll be the first to tell you that I've been accused so many times of being tunnel visioned, only on one specific set of quote unquote suspects or persons of interest or whatever it is that you want to call them. Call it what you want. The sheriff himself has said that nobody, and he means nobody, is cleared in the Summer Wells case. Well, now, while I disagree with the thought of, you know, casting this enormous wide net, that really can't be the case. There's got to be specific players involved. And while we're at it, we'll just talk about Dudley. Here's the problem with Dudley. While he was arrested, and I don't think that that's anything new for Dudley, I typically don't talk about that kind of association. And I've discounted Dudley from day one, ever since I heard Don Wells say that law enforcement told him that Dudley had an alibi. He told that to Chris McDonough because that was a theory that was floated to TBI and the FBI and Hawkins County and to whoever basically else would listen, because he would make a pretty good suspect. Pretty good. Not great. Not a great suspect. But he is somebody that you would have to look at, unfortunately. But he's been cleared, according to Dawn. And I was curious about that myself. So I was like, well, I mean, you know, it's possible. It's possible. I mean, it is true that he fired Dudley the day before Summer went missing. Coincidence or not? I don't know. Does Dudley make a suspect? You know, does Dudley make a good suspect? I don't know. But all I need to know really about Dudley after kind of just listening to the things that were going on, the only thing that I can tell you about Dudley is that Don Wells himself has said that Dudley has an alibi. Is that true? I don't know. I don't know why Don would say that unless TBI actually told him that. I have no clue if that's the case. But think about the revenge factor here. Okay. Firing somebody from a job only to turn around and kidnap their daughter. Is that possible? I don't know. I mean, I just, you know, I struggle with that. I don't see it. I don't see it. I don't feel it. I don't think that Dudley has anything to do with this. And I'm trying to be objective and I'm trying to be as fair as possible. And I think that I am being as fair as possible. I think so. Maybe I'm not. Maybe I am blinded by certain things in this case, such as Candace's story. I can't get past it. And until there's a resolution to this case, I don't think that I can get past that portion. Subi Sue says, Josh, since when do you believe what Don Wells says? I don't know about Dudley, but I don't believe anything Don Wells says. Subi Sue, I never said that I believed what Don said. I never said that. At all. But you would think that it would be, as somebody who covers a story, and you would have to do it fair. Is Dudley a player in this game? And I'm here to tell you, I don't think so. Now, your question when you're saying, Josh, since when do you believe Don Wells? Well, I mean, why would Don lie about somebody that he could try to place some heat on? Because he can. He can do that. And it would make sense. I would. He went to jail for meth or manufacturing or something along those lines. I'm not exactly sure. It was a drug related I don't know if weapons were involved or not. I don't think so. But I'm not saying that I believe Don, but what I'm saying is I do. Why would he say that Dudley has an alibi? Now, that was at the beginning. Is it just something now that this man has been in trouble again? And by the way, this isn't, in the words of Chris McDonough, his first rodeo with law enforcement. I don't think it's any of theirs. And that's a fact. But is this a non-starter? Is this a nothing burger when it comes to Summers' case? Well, in the case of Dudley, I can tell you that it is. In my heart of hearts, well, I can't tell you for a fact. I wish I could, but I can't. I don't think Dudley has anything to do with this at all. And trust me, if he did have something to do with this, I would be overjoyed to report on something like that. I would love to be able to go, hey, you know what? You guys really got to look at this guy. But he's got an alibi, according to Don. Why would Don make that up? I don't think he did. I don't think that he did make it up. I think that he was telling the truth. Now, Subi Sue says, Josh, since when do you believe what Don Wells says? Well, I don't think that he's gonna, I mean, look, there's a thing called self-preservation lying. And I've always been a firm believer of that's exactly what is happening. And I still lean towards that. Absolutely. The self-preservation lying. Meaning, look, they're not going to tell anything at all that will put them in jeopardy of going to jail. So you can tell some truths amongst the lies, amongst the story, amongst the bravado, whatever you want to call it. You can tell those things. And who knows? It's a great way to cause confusion. Now, Dudley, who Don has claimed that he was on meth and so on and so on and so on. He very well may have been. Don may have been right about this guy from the beginning, but that doesn't really do anything to substantiate looking at Dudley. According to Don, he has an alibi. An alibi. Candace ain't got none. That's true, by the way. I mean, Candace doesn't have an alibi. Because she was at the house when it happened. So she doesn't have an alibi. That's true, by the way. I don't believe that. I mean, I was watching a video the other day about that place, and Candace claims to have been outside on the other side of the hill there. A stone's throw away on the front porch. On the front porch. I've actually heard Don recant the whole Starlink thing. I've heard him say that he was just being kind of an ass, or I'm not sure the terminology exactly that was used, but that's kind of what not kind of, that's what he claims. Let me see. Which is fair enough. When I asked him several times about that, and each time his answer was, well, I was just kind of being a jerk. No disagreements here. I don't see why you would say that. Muscles and mascara. Good to see you. Let me see here. What did True? What did he say? What did he say? Sorry. Little bit. I'm really glad that you're here. I hope that you're doing much better. Little bit recovering from surgery. So thank you so much. Yes, Dudley was arrested for drugs, manufacturing of drugs. That's what Dudley got in trouble for. That's what he's been in trouble for most of his life, similar to almost every single person on the hill. Well, not that hill, but around that area. It seems like it's a high drug area. If drug arrests make you involved and Don takes the cake, well, I mean, yeah, I think so. I would think so. Even just trying to be fair about it, and I really, really, really am trying to be fair here. The story just doesn't make sense. It's felt impossible from day one. I mean, she would legitimately she would have been on the porch of her mother's camper, and just like 300 feet on the other side, Dudley or whoever it was would have to miraculously, I'm going to have to turn that down a little bit, would have had to miraculously been sneaking up and quietly, stealth-like. Now, I'm not saying that that's not possible, but I'm not sure that it is. I'm not convinced. I thought I turned that down. What the heck? Let me see. Hold on. I'm sorry. Yes, I didn't. Oh, I think I did now. Sorry about that. On the front porch of grandma's trailer, the front porch of grandma's camper. And a little bit, thank you so much for gifting 5 memberships. It's great to have you back, and I'm so glad that you are feeling better. Thank you for getting a hold of me. People were very, very interested and concerned for your status. Please, if you're in here, please hit that like button. It means a whole lot to me, and it's very appreciated as well. it it really does seem impossible. And that's kind of the thing when I try to explain that to Don, he seems to understand how it looks. He seems to understand that, yeah, it's kind of a story, you know, that's not that easy to believe. Legally, the best case scenario for Don and Candace would, and I don't even mean to put it this way, because there is no best case scenario here, folks. Yeah, there's no supposedly about that. Jose is passed away. It's not supposed. Um, you can take that to the bank, for lack of a better term. You know, like I said, Don, I've had conversations and interviews and talked to Don about this before, and he fully understands that it doesn't look good. How could it? Legally, the best case scenario for Don and Candace would be a stranger abduction. Now, obviously, I don't mean anything by that, because once again, a little girl, Summer Wells, going missing. There's no silver lining. There's nothing there. It's all terrible. She's a little kid who's missing. Not declared deceased. She's missing. And I would just say to Don, because Candace won't talk to me, and that's fine, and that's fair. I don't care. I mean, I would like to, but she doesn't. These people don't owe me anything, but they owe Summer everything, including their lives, including their freedom. And whatever needs to happen. I mean, it is, for lack of a better term, what it is. It is what it is. They owe me nothing, but they owe Summer everything. And in my heart of hearts, I'm telling you guys, that I don't feel that that's been done. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm way off on this. Maybe my instincts aren't as good as I think that they are. All that is very possible, but I'll tell you this. The story needs work. How can we possibly look at Dudley? And I'm not saying that there aren't other people out there that need to be looked at, because they do. They certainly do. You know, not too long ago, I told Dawn that I'm not really very fond of Tim Mullen, which is an understatement, by the way. I mean, I flat out do not like the guy, and I've exchanged some messages with him before, very little. Very little kind of back and forth, and he kind of does the same things that we do, meaning, he wants to get under your skin. He wants to make you scared that you're going to get in trouble for talking about something that's public. But that's just not, those are his clients. Those are his clients. I don't believe that Tim, and I don't know Tim, and I could be way off on this once again. But I don't think that Tim has the best interest of the Wells in mind. I don't know why I feel that way. I just feel like this is a game that this has been a game to him. Traveling the country with them. I'm not, talking about Dr. Phil and misrepresenting a host of things along the way, folks, like a host of things. I mean, it is a misrepresentation when you say that Dr. Phil put his reputation on the line to clear Dawn and Candace openly, but that's not what happened. Right? It's not what happened. So, without me being rude, without me having a bias, without me, by the way, hey, let me see here. Who is CJ? Is this somebody that's in our chat often? I'm asking for a friend. You guys know who this is? Anybody ever seen CJ Cheryl before? Just asking. Cool. Whenever somebody says something like that, hide it and kick them. I don't want them in here. I know what they're doing because they know that I make a big deal out of it. And like that, I'll stop the show or whatever I do. Kick them out, boot them. Don't say I'm buffering. Don't say anything like that. If you say any of that, you're just going to get kicked out. Because all that is somebody trying to prey on my misfortune of the software at the moment. Okay. I'm not stupid. I know what you're doing. You're weird. Go away. Go back over to, whatever trash can you crawled out of. Just go. Yeah. Yeah. Mods, get ready. Get ready, mods. I don't know if you guys have heard this before, but here it is.
Mods, get ready because the spoilers are coming in. Spoilers are coming in. Mods, get ready.
It's coming.
Spoilers are coming in. Mods, get ready. Mods, get ready because the spoilers are coming in.
Don't say any F's and stuff. Don't say any F's.
There is no investigation. Then all of a sudden, you got this epitome while they're able to come up on your panel.
Mods, get ready for the spoilers are coming in.
Courtesy of Miss Daisy. Thank you, Miss Daisy, for lending yourself to that. It's the best. It's too funny. I enjoyed that. I'm sorry. I mean, that honestly took me an hour to do. An hour. That took me an hour. But I think it was well worth it. I don't know. I'm sure she does, because I think her sister was there when we premiered it, the night we premiered it, because it was so funny. And it is funny, and I don't care what anybody says. I don't want to hear a reaction to it. I'm sure she hates it. I wouldn't blame her too. I'd probably hate it too. Give me 1 second here. We will. Mods, get ready. Because the trolls are coming in. Yeah, that's all that is. That's just a way for somebody to be like, bro. But it's all right. We'll just, now that we know. Oh, I'm just opening the line. Hold on. All right. Let me just make sure the number's right here too. Bum, 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 bum. What is it? 858. Let me see. 888. Make sure this number's right. 888 -299 dash 254. All right, so there it is. Sorry, it took so long to do that. I truly do apologize. There is the call-in number, and I'm gonna try to get through as many. I have this really bad habit of like overly talking to people when they call in, and I kind of feel bad about it sometimes. So I'm gonna try to move through a couple, but don't feel rushed or don't feel anything like that. But I would love to hear your take, your honest, true opinion. And so the call-in number is 888-29 or 888-299-2405. Hit the line if you so please. Yep, that's right. The trolls are coming in. That's so funny, man. That is so funny. Did somebody become a member? Did I miss that? Please tell me I didn't miss that. Did I miss it? Little Dev says these in law enforcement rarely give update. I know the wheel of justice turns slow, but Jesus. Well, I mean, I can understand that as well. 3-month membership. Thank you so much. Baby D says she's not a troll. I believe you. I'm just saying. I believe you. Hold on. Let me make sure. Here. Cool. Let's do it. All right. Lipstick Boy's here. What's up, Justin? The other day he like sends people, he's on a show, and then Justin says, hey, everybody go watch The Lab, tell them Lipstick Boy sent you. And then somebody came in and said, hey, Lipstick Boy sent us. And I was like, that's not nice. And they're like, he's the one that said it. And I was like, oh, my bad. I'm sorry. I truly felt bad. Like I felt really, really bad. But now he's oh shoot, it is not 858. God, so stupid. Sorry. It's one man show right now. It's teetering on the brink of catastrophe. Sorry. Stupid. Okay, so there's the real number. Okay. Caller, go ahead. You're on the air.
Long time listener, long time caller.
What's up? What's going on? Boston in the house. What's up?
I'm thinking that it was perfect that you brought up the Dudley thing. I don't think you have tunnel vision, of course.
Mm.
I do know that him getting arrested gave Dawn and a certain channel so much fodder, so much distraction to talk about. It was almost, see? Oh, look, see? He's so suspicious, and I just thought, wow, did they take that and run with it so much?
Yeah, and it was kind of look, if you're Dawn and Candace, you're going to take every single chance to, discredit people that are saying, hey, they're the ones that did it, or we assume that they're the ones that did it. I don't blame them for doing it. But can you imagine, this is another thing. Can you imagine if it is truly Dawn and Candace and they're casting doubt by throwing other people? Now I get it. Dudley's not a sympathetic figure by any stretch of the imagination. But
he's the perfect red herring, though.
I think so. And it's not that he shouldn't have been or shouldn't be looked at or shouldn't have been looked at. He's definitely should have. But I don't know. I just don't see it. I don't see it.
Oh, I don't either. I think he's a convenience scapegoat. I think he has like, some bad juju around him and around that time. But I just remember thinking that I think you're right. I think either Dawn
I
said
got the
he
number
had an
wrong, man.
alibi, if he changed it.
I mean, he
I think
did
you're right.
he did say he had an alibi. I messed up the call again, or the call-in number again. Hold on. So stupid.
You know how bad I am? You know how I figured out how to just be like
What, you put it on speed
consistent
dial?
about this? But I didn't put it on speed dial, but it's in there.
Oh, okay. Well,
It's in the
no,
content.
okay, so it is 858-299-2504. My goodness gracious. Okay, sorry. Continue. The red herring.
No, I don't want to take up.
Nobody else has called yet because I haven't put the right number up.
And I have it under the lab.
Yeah, this is
So I
the
don't know if it's
number.
under-
this is the number. Okay, here we go. Let me put this on. It's just unbelievable. Let me pin this. So stupid. Where's Peyton at? He's in trouble.
I think it was last week or a couple of weeks ago that I remember that you lost the audio and I could hear him talking to you, but it sounded like he was talking to me, but no one could hear me.
Right. Well, yeah, exactly.
Which is hard.
It's just been out of control one way and the other. It's just been completely
Yeah, you must have a lot going on because your production is like A1. So you've been having not a lot. I'm not saying that because I know you get all stressed out about it. And I'm not laughing at you. I know that that's really a big deal, which is okay.
Did I pin the wrong number? I think, and then I just pinned the wrong number. Oh my God. I mean,
I'll let you take it.
This is a meltdown of epic proportions, folks. I mean, oh my God in heaven.
I'm so sorry. I shouldn't laugh at you, but it is
it's okay.
It's not fun for you. It's kind of funny, like
I'm
when
having
you're
a blast.
listening.
Okay, here we go.
Because everybody does what you're doing about something that drives them crazy. Like,
Yeah, and yeah, I don't know. Well, I appreciate you calling in. Sorry, I'm so just like, what happened?
Maybe
so
I was
red herring. So that's what red herring. That's it. It's just, you think it's cover fire type thing.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, but they came out gangbusters when he got arrested, almost like within a half hour, like, they opened the barn doors and whatnot.
Well, that, like I said, if I was Don and Candace in their position, I'd have done the same thing. I would have done the same thing.
Oh yeah.
So I get it.
It's always what's around them. What's around them is that's getting a little bit much. It's getting too heavy. Talk about not being objective. You think you have tunnel vision?
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
I think that,
Thank
you've
you,
been
Lulu.
accused of that. Well, what's that? Pot calling the kettle black, okay?
Yes. Yeah, that's exactly what it is. But I mean, we all have our own theories and opinions and on this case, and sometimes some are more extreme than others, But
and sometimes CW, that we're behind you. There's so many people, more people are behind you than aren't. And somebody took a poll or a survey, I forget who it was, and no, it's like 90% to 10%. 10% being thinking they had nothing whatsoever to do with it.
Do you know who did that poll?
No, you know what I think it was? I think it was like under, when you post something on the community and it comes up?
Yeah. Yeah, the community
Not
tab.
you. Not you. Yeah, I have a couple of people that I don't listen to. I think she's Crime Lies. I don't necessarily listen to her, but I read the posts and stuff. And I think she does. But if I find it, I'll send it.
Right.
But it's probably old. But it was, yeah. I was like, I think so. At least on YouTube.
Right.
People on YouTube aren't all behind,
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, have a good night.
Well, look, yeah, we got the right number up. We got the right number up now. So impressive.
I could pick up all the
thank you for
go.
saving the show. I appreciate it. Nobody would have had the number.
No, it doesn't need saving. It's great. Oh, and that clip is wonderful.
The mods are coming.
Goodness.
Or the trolls are coming.
Yeah. That's one of the best ones in a while. Not all of it.
Thank you so much for calling.
All right, take care. Bye.
All right. Caller, go ahead. You're on the air.
Hi, Josh. Thanks for taking my call.
Oh, of course. How are you?
I'm fine. I appreciate your show so much.
Thank you.
And you're welcome. My take on Summer Wells has led me to North Carolina. And the reason is because Summer had a birthday party in North Carolina. There's some connection there. And Don didn't want to go, but I'm wondering if at some time Summer and Don and Candace weren't in a homeless facility there for a short time. And that's why the birthday party in North Carolina. And didn't Grandis Candy take Jose to North Carolina also?
I believe
or am I mistaken?
No, it was one of the Carolinas, I believe. I'm not really sure which one.
Yeah. And that's why I'm thinking Candace has even said that she believes Summer is alive. And
I believe you heard that on my show. I believe.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking perhaps Summer could be somewhere like in North Carolina, maybe. Or,
so do you think that you think that Summer's alive?
I'm beginning to think that, yes.
Why is that?
At first I thought, I beg your pardon?
Why do you believe that? Just curious.
Because of this North Carolina connection. And we're going no place with this case, and there must be something that, Don's sister Heidi is married to Lawson's relative. I don't know if they're cousins or what, but I just think they're hiding something, and it could be Summer, that they're hiding her for whatever reason, and they're just waiting for the younger children case to come about. I think that comes in May. I'm not sure. And then they TBI, and they'll be able to maybe the welfare even took her. I was in an AA meeting, and this one little gal had a baby, and she was in trouble. She shouldn't have had the baby with her. I'll make it short, but the TBI or whatever they call it came in and grabbed that baby so fast right out of her arms. I couldn't believe it. And yeah, they did that. The welfare did that. And well, she had way too many babies, and they were born, addicted to whatever drug she was on, and it was so sad. I did try to befriend her in some ways because it was pitiful. However, I didn't condone the way she was living, of course, but I just think it's all about drugs and money and hiding someplace, some way, somehow. Because at first I thought perhaps it was an accident, and then they got rid of her, and I thought maybe they cremated her.
Yeah, I've heard that
and
theory.
Put her in the cement, but that's out of the. I don't believe that anymore. I think that's not feasible. But and Mr. Dudley, I don't think he's, a perfect human being, but I kind of doubt if he has anything to do with it. But the drug connection might be there.
Sure.
And I'm looking more at, I'm looking more at Jody too. Well, he has 7 alibis.
Well, no, Don says that he has 7
you mean
alibis.
Don? Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Well, that's the alibi is from his wife, and they're split up now.
Are they?
So, yes.
Who, Don?
Well, I don't know if it's temporary.
Don and Candace?
No, Dudley and his wife.
Oh, okay. All right. Sorry. Gotcha.
Yeah. And I'm not so sure that Candace and Don are getting along all that well. Maybe they're getting ready to take off to Arizona.
I don't think that they Don's been very open. I mean, we've even witnessed it before that they have their bouts where they absolutely do not get along, and so on and so forth. But yeah, I agree. I agree. Now the whole South Carolina or the Carolina thing, really fast. So the who threw that birthday party?
It was at Candace and Don and Summer were staying at a homeless shelter in North Carolina. That's my understanding. And Summer was just maybe a year old, and they really liked her and everything, and they threw a birthday party for her. And that's the connection. And Don, this wasn't all that long ago either. They somehow kept connection. And Don did not want to go to North Carolina. I don't know if it's because he shouldn't leave the state, perhaps.
I mean,
that could have been it.
Seems to leave the state a lot.
Yes. Right. And Candace, the way she says it, I believe Summer is alive, just like she knows. Then Jose went to North Carolina with Grandma Candy, and with a sore leg. How did, even if Jose drove there and she had to come back, how with a sore knee was she able to? I don't believe she had that serious of a sore knee. I don't think there was a sore knee to begin with. I mean, I don't believe Candace went over and fixed her knee. I mean, who wakes up? Candace isn't going to wake up at 7:30, 8 o'clock in the morning and run over to her mother's and say, "Oh, come on now, we got to go to the hospital." It's just common sense that didn't happen. And if it did, I think all the children were left there alone to stay sleeping. I don't think Summer even went in the morning. Hunter said something like, "Oh, she wasn't with us all day," And during an interview, Hunter pointed his two fingers on the table and said, 2 boys went to work. That's what he had heard. And one stayed back, the younger one. And I won't mention the name, and I won't talk about the children. I'll take that back. But, and another thing, during an interview at the table there with Chris, Hunter pointed at Leslie and insinuated that she was with them at some time of the day also. It's right at the table, and he points at Leslie, the one that passed away now, which is ironic also. They're all dying.
People die. I see, and that's another thing is, and no, I don't mean to cut you off there. I
didn't mean it that way.
No, I understand.
I just mean, I can't believe they're all dropping down like flies. No.
Nobody's whacking these people. I mean, these kind of.
Do some people actually think that?
I would assume so. Yeah.
That's
I
really
thought that's what you were implying too. But you're not.
Oh, no. I just mean that we can't get information from these people is what I was going with.
Gotcha.
We can't ask Jose any more questions. We can't ask Leslie any more questions.
Well, they
and I don't know.
And to be fair to them, Jose told us a lot. Now, whether you believe him or not is a different story. I really do appreciate your call. I got to move on because I'm getting backed up here.
Thank you.
But
thank you ever so much.
Thank you for calling
Good
in,
show.
and I appreciate it. Thank you.
You're welcome very much. Bye-bye.
Okay. Is this who I think it is?
I don't know. Who is it?
Is this little bit?
It sure is.
How are you?
Well, I sound like I'm drunk because I'm on a lot of medication.
You don't sound like you're drunk.
I'm doing all right. I just wanted to call in and thank everybody for all the prayers and good wishes for me. I did all right in the surgery, but then I had a setback because I got MS, and it caused me to have a relapse, and I was in the hospital for 10 days.
Wow.
And then my son took me to his house because he wouldn't let me stay here by myself,
And are you home by yourself now?
Yeah, I'm home now, but he's only about 2 miles away from me, and he checks on me constantly.
Do you have a life alert or anything?
But yeah, I got off of that. I'm fine. He wouldn't have left me out. He's a good son. He wouldn't have left me if he wasn't.
Good.
Felt like I was safe.
My grandma has one, and she sets it off all the time on accident.
I got all kinds of alarms. I got a heart monitor that monitors my heart. It's I don't know. But anyway, I wanted to tell you something. It's not about summer, but I wanted to tell you something that happened. My daughter-in-law went to the drugstore and carried my granddaughter that's 10 years old and to get my medication, and she had to wait because she had prescriptions that they wasn't called in, so she had to wait,
Mm-hmm.
And they were walking around the store, and this woman dressed in a coat, and it wasn't even cold, and a hat on her hood, kept following them around and telling my granddaughter how beautiful she was. And my daughter-in-law kept pulling away, getting away from her, and next thing you know, she's right there again. But then they called her and told her the prescriptions were ready. So she goes up to the counter and tells my granddaughter to sit in them chairs where they have a little waiting area. Can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And then she had her back. She was facing the drug, where you pick up the drugs, whatever you call it.
to pay for them, and she had her back to her, but she kept glancing around, and she saw that woman again over there talking to her. So she walked over there, and then my granddaughter got up and says, "Mommy, she wants me to come outside and see her puppies in her car. Can I go?" She said, "No, you can't go. You stay right there and don't you move." And she told that woman to go on and leave her alone. And she walked back up, which was probably, she said, "Well, it's not that far. I mean, I've been there. It's 10 or 15 feet, from the sitting area." And she turned around and the woman was there again. She had my granddaughter by the arm and said, "You're going out to look at my puppies." And then my granddaughter told the pharmacist, "Look what's going on. This woman's trying to get my daughter." And the pharmacist hollered out something, she said, "We're calling the law," and the woman ran. And then one of the people in the pharmacy ran outside to try to catch the woman, just jerked off her coat and her hat and jumped in a truck, and it was not a woman, it was a man.
Wow.
And there was no puppies. That's how fast a child can get snatched.
Wow. Well, so did this person get arrested?
No, she got away, or he. Anyway, there was a man there getting out. I wasn't there, but
holy crap.
He said there was a man getting out, and he saw the vehicle and the woman running, or man running, throwing his clothes off and his jacket and all that. And he saw his tag, but he didn't get the tag number. But it was a Tennessee tag.
You said a Tennessee tag?
And I'm in Alabama, out from Mobile, Alabama.
So,
wow.
Well, that's terrifying.
They was up to something. Yeah, and then the pharmacy, the big store at Walgreens, they're pretty big. They got cameras and they got it on film and all. And they was trying to get the tag number and find out who it was, but she hadn't heard nothing yet back from them. And she called them today and they still hadn't heard nothing.
Golly.
My son is furious. He said, "If I catch them first," he said, I'll go to jail.
Oh, for sure. I mean, and wow. It's just such a different, it's just such a I remember being able to just do, when I was a kid, pretty much whatever I want, whenever I wanted, meaning I could ride my bike and at dark, I couldn't imagine a parent letting their kid, with everything that we know now. And I'm not saying that, that was safe, but it just wasn't something that we thought about a lot. It wasn't something that parents really thought about. And it wasn't safe, but yeah, just unbelievable. Wow. Well, I'm glad that there was no abduction. My goodness.
Well, my little granddaughter's pretty smart. She'd have screamed or hollered or something. She wouldn't have let them take her.
That's when stranger danger, they teach that stranger danger thing. I have to actually had a comment. Somebody left me a comment saying that, because McDonough used to be in these like kid commercials, like on Saturday morning cartoons. And it would talk about like, running away from strangers and screaming and stuff like that. And somebody said that 40 years ago, Chris taught their kids stranger danger, and they're 40 years old now, and they still remember it. It's a very, very important lesson.
Well, I mean, I've been trying to watch you while I was in and out. I caught some of your clothes pieces hitting there, but I fall asleep.
No, well, I understand. And I thank you for calling. Are you pretty tired?
I wasn't the one that was putting Chris McDonough down really bad. Yeah. And it made me mad. They saying he was lying and who he said he is, all this kind of garbage.
That's all yeah. People are, yeah. Wow. Well, little bit.
Okay,
I
well,
appreciate
I
you
won't stay
calling.
on.
Get some rest. It's
I'm
great to have you
trying. I'm
back.
just check in with y'all.
Appreciate it. It's great to have you back.
Okay, well, have a good night, you and everybody listening.
All right. Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
It's good to hear from a little bit. Caller, go ahead. You're on the air.
Hi, Josh.
Hello.
You can hear me, right?
I sure can.
Okay, cool. My first time calling in. I don't even like to say this, but I mean, I am just totally losing hope that Summer's ever going to get any justice. It's just such a convoluted bunch of bullcrap. And these people, my God. Personally, I'm leaning towards the opinion that Candace probably killed her. I have always felt that Candace was very jealous of her, that she knew Dawn was molesting her. And instead of taking it out on Dawn, that she pretty much took it out on Summer.
And for the record, that is all very alleged.
Right.
Hey, we got to be
I'm
fair.
kind of thinking, yeah, and the only reason that Dawn isn't saying anything is because she has that on him, and probably God knows what else she has on him and what he has on her. I think that's another factor that comes into play here, is all these characters, nobody's really free to snitch anybody off of anything because they all have so much dirt on. They're just so much dirt. Dirt everywhere. So that's another part of it. But and by the way, when the last caller was saying, or that one that's saying about grandma driving to North Carolina with Jose, that was actually South Carolina.
South Carolina. Got it. Noted. Yeah. Well,
but yeah, that's kind of my take on things. But I'm losing hope that she's ever going to get any justice. I really am. I don't want to, but I can't see what could be taking so long. It's just ridiculous. It just is.
Well, I appreciate your phone call, and I say keep the faith. I'm not losing hope. I haven't lost hope. I'm gaining.
Good.
I'm gaining traction for hope. Actually, I feel that something is going to happen in this case. Now, I've said that.
I hope you're right, Josh.
So just
hope
hang in
and pray
there.
you're right. Okay, I'll do that.
All right. Thank you so much for your call.
Okay. Thank you, Josh.
Caller, go ahead. You're on the air.
Hey, Josh. How you doing this evening?
Who is it?
Josh, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yeah, it's Ricky Beavers. How you doing?
Good, man. How are you, Ricky?
I'm all right. I just want to weigh in here. I believe Summer's alive myself. I don't know where, but I do believe she is.
Why do you think that?
I strongly believe that in my heart. I do believe that in my heart.
Why do you think that, though? That I'm curious.
Well, I don't know if people really understand where I was coming from if I said she was, and so I'd rather just kind of leave it at that. What I really feel in my heart.
Mm-hmm. Fair enough.
And I feel like too, there's all kinds of corruption going on down in Tennessee with the law enforcement. I do believe that. I just know that Ronnie Lawson's son was arrested. And I mean, it gets real deep. I've been following this case since day one. And be honest too, I have recently I've been talking back and forth to Candace. And I haven't talked to Don yet, but I have Candace. And that's the vibes I feel like I said, Summer's alive, and it's a shame that a lot There's a lot of creators making money off summer, and I hate that part. It's so sad. But I do think that it's going to come to a closure on it pretty soon. I do believe that. And I just want to call and get my input with you, Josh, and I appreciate you keeping summer going. But I think it's all, like I said, it's going to come to a closure on the end of it. And that's the day I'm waiting for.
Well, I appreciate your phone call. And one thing that I did want to say really fast, Ricky, because I got a couple calls, but the whole making money off of summer. Now that's one of those things where in true crime, and true crime is a genre of entertainment, unfortunately. It just is. It really is. And it's been that way for a long time. You have Dateline, you have, Forensic Files, you have all these major shows, okay, that turn a major profit on their shows. Now, is that ethical or unethical?
I'm talking about YouTubers.
I understand. But let me mesh this here. It's really the way that people go about it. Okay. Now, if there are people just making up stuff, if there are people just lying about stuff to get people, or, clickbaiting or whatever you want to call it, but bringing factual information and a proper balanced discussion on a show on YouTube, I don't see a major issue, but I do see an issue if people are purposely misleading, if people are purposely lying, if people are doing things like that, then I can understand what you're saying. But Summer's case gets covered because people want it covered. We don't necessarily decide who wants it covered. If that, or who, like,
well, let me say, I'm not saying all YouTubers, not all YouTubers. I'm not saying that all of them. Okay, let me rephrase it. I'm sorry. I'm just going to say, let me rephrase that. Okay, let me take some of that back. Not all creators, but let's say some. Let's say a lot of creators, but not all. Okay.
Sure.
And that's what I feel. And Josh, thank you once again for keeping summer going.
I appreciate it, Ricky.
As I said, I feel this real deep in my heart, real strong. And I think, like I said, I think summer's alive. I think eventually it's all going to come to a head.
I think so too.
Let's see what's going to happen here.
Wow.
And let's just trust in God with it. And God bless you, Josh, and thank you for taking my call.
Yes, sir, Ricky. Thank you, Ricky Beavers. Appreciate you.
All right.
I appreciate those calls. I like them. I mean, he's allowed to feel that way. I think that somebody asked a question earlier, asking me if I thought that Summer was alive. I'm going to take these calls and then I'm going to talk to you a little bit about that on the other side. Caller, go ahead. You're on the air.
Hey, is it me, Josh?
I can hear you.
Oh. All right. I knew it's been there. All right. So, yeah, that's the most difficult thing about all of this is
it makes a huge difference which way that goes. You know what I mean? Like,
Right. No, I understand.
hello?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, shit. I was typing when you called, and I didn't realize I'd answered. What was y'all talking about? I go blank like that constantly. Trust me, it's got something to do with my neck, maybe. But anyway,
Something's
back.
your connection's something's wrong with your connection. I'm not sure. So, I'm sorry. It was caller. Go ahead. You're on the air.
Hey, Josh, can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Awesome. It's Love of Scorpio.
How
are you doing?
I'm doing fine. Thank you.
I'm good. I've been following Summer and this whole debauchery from pretty much week one. So I've been going through all the motions that everybody feels about Summer. You know, that we are her voice at this point. But to go quickly to what I just saw recently with the media manager posting a post with the brothers not having any kind of just out there and no protection over their faces to protect their identity. And I have a real problem with that. Those boys are in protective custody for a reason.
Really? Well, I definitely agree with that. I don't
understand why Don and Candace don't have a problem with having those boys' faces out in the public when they are being protected by people who care for them.
Are you talking about the photo that was just published by the media manager?
Yes.
I was a little bit surprised myself that that was put on there. Yeah, I was surprised, very much so.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And since there is a gag order on talking about the boys, or, you know, the family talking to the boys, how he is able to put that out there.
I don't know. I mean, I don't know. I mean, it's that's a great question. It's totally possible that they're not allowed to, and that so it's under the guise of Tim's the one that runs that site. So everything that he does is independent of Don and Candace.
Right. Cause he's now claimed he's distanced himself. So he's coming out of the cover of protection.
Right. And once again, to me, that's disingenuous and which makes it even harder to believe the things that are said by that side or that camp, if you will. So, I'm very, very like weary of this onslaught of what I believe is just kind of misdirection, misinformation, especially coming from Tim. And that's just my personal opinion.
No, you know, we're the YouTubians that are slandering and we're the bad ones. But P.S., this guy is putting a full picture of these boys that are in protective custody with a gag order. Like, that is serious.
It would be serious if it was Dawn or Candace that directed it. Now it's tone deaf and probably not against the law because once again, I mean, he has claimed that he's fully independent. Now, is it in bad taste? Yeah. Should he have done it? No. Was it right? No. Should there be any focus on the boys? No.
Right.
No. And look, I've been given all kinds of information, even about the boys. I don't know what's true, what's not. I'm not talking about it though.
Right. And that's my point. He wants to blame the YouTubians, but he's the one blasting those boys all over social media. Once The YouTubians, as he likes to call us, we don't. We keep those boys private. We keep those boys protected. Now, who's the bad one? Media manager.
Hey, I'm with you on it. I mean, I have a major issue with a lot of the things that he portrays. I get what he's doing. I understand what he's doing, but I don't think it's right what he's doing, and that's just my opinion.
No, I 100% don't think it's right, and that's why I'm really angry, because those boys need to be protected by somebody other than Don, Candace, and Tim.
Right.
And it's just sad that those boys, we have done, and I have been on multiple platforms that don't talk about the boys. That's what they're known as, Summers Brothers or the boys. But this Yahoo puts a full-length picture out on social media of the boys that are protected. And I do believe Don and Candace said that I think at one point the boys should have been taken away for their own protection.
Yes. I mean, that's what he stated. That's true. Yes, correct.
Right. So now Don and Candace doesn't have a problem with this guy putting the pictures out of the boys.
He's the trusted media manager, I think that they should have a problem with it.
Yes, I do too.
But
I really do, because my heart stopped when I saw those boys' faces. And I'm like, oh my God, these poor boys have been through hell and back, things I've never gone through. And now you got this godlike complex thinking he knows everything and anything about Summer Wells. And it's just infuriating. It really is just infuriating. We do everything to protect the boys. And here's this Yahoo's putting out a picture of all three of them, that anybody could go by and eye them. You know what I mean? Like, he's literally putting those kids in danger.
Sometimes I think that that's for a sympathy ploy, by Don, not by Don, but by Tim, because
yes, and I agree with you. That's his only thought, is sympathy. But he's not thinking far past the sympathy. He's not thinking that these boys could be targeted or in somebody's next door. And be like, hey, aren't you that's all Tim doesn't think about.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's why, if those were my three boys and Don and Candace didn't say, hey, Tim, take that post down, I have a problem with that. I have a huge problem with that.
I mean, that seems like the logical thing to do, but somehow I think that Tim has sort of buffaloed Don into him thinking like, this is our guy. He's gonna guide us through this. And Don doesn't have a lot of people stepping up to the plate to deal with whatever it is that they deal with. And by the way, I know they deal with a lot, because it's a terrible situation. What I mean by deal with a lot is there's a lot of scrutiny. There's an avalanche of it. It's constant. I think that that's their guy now, if that makes any sense.
It makes no sense.
I mean, because who else is going to come? Who else is going to do that? Who else is going to build a website for him? Who else is? I mean, who else is going to do that?
Right. But this was just this week. You know what I mean? This wasn't like in the beginning. This just happened, and that's my biggest problem. Like, they're supposedly, Don and Candace are supposedly fighting for their kids through family court, but yet you let this Yahoo post pictures of the kids that they damn well know are in protective, foster families.
They certainly are.
Like, you tell me, Don and Candace, are you wanting your children in protective custody, or are you wanting a Yahoo having your boys' pictures plastered on social media where they're not going to be protected if somebody figures out who they are. That's my huge problem. And I'm angry about it. I'm angry because those boys need to be protected. And nobody is coming to the defense of the boys. There's nothing we can do for Summer right now, but we can protect the boys. That's what I have to say.
Well,
Dudley again is just what? I'm sorry.
Oh no, I was just gonna say I do appreciate your phone call and I respect your opinion and I agree with you for the most part. I mean, pretty much everything that you said. Now I know that there's going to be people out there that say, well, you know, their pictures were already out there, but not with all this, like at the fever pitch of this case, doing something like that could really become an issue. I agree with that. And that's what it is, because there's more eyes on this case than ever. And I think he even mentioned on his website the other day, like, this is for the fresh eyes or the new eyes or something stupid. I don't know. I don't like that guy, but
I'm sure it is. I don't like that guy either. I would never entrust a missing child to that man. I can trust you that.
Yeah. Well,
hopefully I won't have to experience.
Like I said, you know, I don't think Don and Candace have a lot of options in that department, unfortunately.
Do you think they even know what he's posting, honestly? If you had to take a guess.
Probably. I mean, he did lay under the bus for Tim and then took a photo. I would think so. I would think that he probably, I don't know if this is true or not. I don't know if he has carte blanche to do it or not, but I would think so. I would think that at least Don is in the know about it, but I don't think that he's got any restrictions on him either.
Well, I do know Candace was not a fan of the old TM.
Oh, you don't say?
She never really wanted him around. No, I don't think she really ever wanted TM around in the picture.
He's the meteor for our family, but I don't. Well, why do you need a meteor for my family?
Yeah, I don't know where you got that impression from, but I'm going to agree with you. This is also a statement about Tim.
He's a lost cannon.
Yeah, but I agree, and I appreciate your phone call.
And Josh, I just want to say thank you, because your channel, it's just got all the right balance.
I appreciate
and meeting all of the new folks over here and being new over to here. And I really want to thank you for continuing on with fighting for Summer, because I know there was a minute you might thought you couldn't, but we're all behind you. We all want this little girl found. We want her, whatever form or shape she is found in. We just want her found, and we want justice for Summer Wells. And thank you, and God bless you, and God bless the chat and everybody who loves Summer.
Thank you very much. Appreciate your phone call.
Have a good night, hon.
So I believe that was her first time calling in, and wonderfully put. I'm with you. Caller, go ahead. You're on the air.
Hey, Josh, Muscles and Mascara. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm fantastic.
Yeah.
Wanted to call and weigh in for a few minutes.
I would love that. Sure.
I have a lot to say.
I bet.
Quick.
You have the floor.
Yeah. Thank you. But you know that I've been following this case since the day Summer went missing, so I've literally listened to it.
Did you get the Amber Alert on your phone?
Here. I sure did.
Yeah,
yes,
okay.
sir.
Gotcha.
And I went to the scanner immediately and listened for that too. Been involved in Summer's case for a long time, and just to watch what's happened and to watch the I can't say any F's and stuff, so the that goes on with this case is mind-boggling.
Right.
But so I guess my first question is, well, not really a question, but my first point is that I want to say is I know there's a lot of people that think that people are making money off of Summer's back, and I understand that, and I understand there's a gray area there. But what I do want to say is has anybody stopped to think about the money her own parents are making off of her own back? That's the question that I have, because that's where the problem lies with me. So you're talking about all the money that these people have gotten for renovations, all the money they've gotten for their drugs, their smokes, their liquor, all of this stuff. And if it wasn't for them, it wasn't for people patting their pocket, and it wasn't for Summer missing, then this would never occur. It's just really frustrating when I hear that. Like, I feel like people tip you guys because they appreciate the content and what you're doing. And if you don't appreciate it, then don't give to that person. That it just doesn't make any sense to me.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, it's just super confusing. I don't understand that piece of it. What I don't understand either is why people are continuously funding these people to do nothing to find their child. If these people were utilizing this money to go out and build campaigns of some sort, if they were going out to print all these flyers and stand in front of the news stations and stand in front of the police stations or whatever it may be themselves, then I could see funding their pockets a little bit. But somebody tell me what they've done with that money that has benefited or helped Summer's case. And you're going to hear dead silence because there's not a thing that anybody can tell me because they've not done anything. And they can say they have. They can say they went out and searched, and they can say this and they can say that. But it's really funny that you don't see any of that, and they certainly post a bunch of other crap on YouTube. So how come they can't post that? They can't post that.
Well, look, I mean, you're not going to get any arguments here. I agree. I mean, I fundamentally agree with everything that you're saying. And as for the money issue, look, I mean, is it a touchy subject? I guess it probably is. But people think that, like, people make tons and tons of money doing stuff like this, and it's just not true.
Agreed.
It's just not true. I would never ask for that or whatever, like I've said this before. This show, I'll do this show exactly the same way. Doesn't matter how many people watch, how much money is super chatted or stickered or Venmo'd or PayPal or whatever. The show is going to be exactly the same. And by the way, for those of you who are new, for 6 months, I didn't make a dime covering this case nightly. Because I didn't, and I was putting in a lot of time doing it. I did end up monetizing my channel. I did, but it wasn't really that important. You know what I mean? Like I did it for a long time. And I would, by the way, if I would do it again tomorrow, the same way, I guarantee you.
Amen.
And, get kicked off, take the monetization, whatever. I would just go back to doing it exactly the same way that I did before.
But that's also why you have the amount of people that continuously come back here day after day after day and literally tune in to see, you give people a chance to actually speak and say their piece about Summer. And, there's, as a local, it's really been a hard thing to do because you've seen the crap that people put up with. But the only other thing that I want to say too is I really have challenged people for something really fast, and it is everybody that fusses about, like you and I or whoever's having a show or whoever's on panel talking about the wells. Everybody thinks there's supporters of Dawn and Candace seem to have a problem with people who get on panel and talk about Dawn and Candace. Well, Dawn and Candace made themselves public people by coming on this platform. So number one, we get to talk about their situation, and they have a child missing. And last time I checked, when a child goes missing or a person goes missing, the first people they contact is those that are the closest to them. So be it parents, be it spouses, whatever. That's who they look out first. That's who they should look out first. Candace was the last person to see Summer. Are we going to look at her? Yeah. Are we going to look at their history? Yeah, we certainly are. But how about, channels who say this and they have such a problem with it, you're blocked in chats. You can't even ask questions about Summer. So when I go into these channels, I'll ask questions about Summer. Tell us something about Summer. Can you tell us what she was like? Can you say this? Can you say that? Just because we all want to feel that closeness to Summer, that's why we're here. It's for Summer, not to watch their whatever you want to call it, whatever it is they do. But anyway, I just don't understand why we're not allowed to ask questions about the parents. Or we're not allowed to ask questions about the parents. We're not allowed to ask questions about Summer. The first thing you hear from them is we're not doing this tonight.
Yeah.
We're here. They're here to have a good time.
Right. Let me weigh
I'm
in on
sorry.
that really quick. Yes, I agree with you 100% that if you're going to have Dawn and Candace on your panel, and I'm not trying to tell people how to do their shows, but the only reason people are interested in them is because of their daughter being missing. Okay. Nobody's interested in Dawn and Candace because, Candace is a Vincent Van Gogh in the making, and Dawn's, painting the Sistine Chapel or spackling it for that matter. Like that's not now can they grow fond of them? I'm sure. Yeah. But if you're going to have them on panel, you bear the responsibility of putting them in front of hundreds, if not thousands of people, and that the only reason people are interested is because their children first of all, Summer's missing and just the story grows and grows and grows and grows. So yeah, I agree 100% with you on that.
Yeah, it's just super frustrating because I want to know about Summer. That's what I want to know because, I'm local, but I didn't know them. I want to know about Summer. So does everybody else. And I'll never quit trying to find out about Summer. It's not going to come from her parents, clearly. It's not happened in nearly 2 years, so it's not going to happen from them. But I'm going to find out what she enjoyed and those kind of things. That's what I want to know because I've lost sleep over this young lady, just like many of other people on here has, from day one, literally. Carrying stuff to try to go and take to the people are out there searching days upon days of doing that, trying to hang flyers, trying to do this, trying to do that, try to help somebody in our own community, and to be shut down to find out what that child was like, and we can't really know who Summer is. Piss on that. And the other things I'm really tired of hearing about is how Candace is having a really hard time. If you all want to send her some money in a Cash App,
right?
Really? It's just these things that just continuously just drive me up the wall. And I just wanted to voice my opinion on it. Not that it's like anything any different than anybody else to say, because it's certainly not. It's just really freaking old to see it. And that's all you ever see anymore. And these people who, I really didn't like them at first, but now that I've spent some time with them, why are you spending time with them unless you're out there making them search? What is the purpose of spending time with them?
I would be willing to spend some time with them if we could go searching.
Oh, absolutely. 110%.
I wouldn't have a problem with that, but
I would be
and I have said this before. Look, I get it, and I'm not here to tell people what to do or how to run their channel, but I do believe that there is a certain amount of responsibility when you put up people, quote unquote, according to Tim, Amber Alert family. People are going to ask those questions, and it's not out of bounds at all.
No.
Because that's why they're here. That's why they're in this world, this arena, if you will. I won't say YouTube streets because I think it sucks. And just Dan says, I got out of the military and became a cop, then a detective. My niece went missing, and I decided to resign and be a PI. I love what Josh is doing. Thank you. I appreciate that. And I also appreciate your super sticker as well. Muscles, let me ask you this.
Yes, sir.
What if we're wrong? Because you and I feel exactly the same.
Okay. Mm-hmm. Sure.
Have you thought about that? Because I have.
I certainly have. I've thought about it a lot. And I've heard a lot of the people saying, do you want me to give you my opinion first? Or do you want me to let you say yours first?
Mm-hmm. Right.
I'll be glad to go first.
Go ahead.
If we're wrong, let's say that they have absolutely nothing to do with it and it's proven that way, I will still never apologize, Josh. And the reason I'll never apologize is because I've not done anything that I think is wrong. I've not chastised these people. I've done absolutely nothing wrong. What I have done is pointed my finger at weird behavior that is not normally seen by missing people, that they have not reached out and they have not tried to, do the right thing and putting their daughter first. So I won't apologize for that. I won't apologize for the living conditions or the way that I said about their home, because their living conditions was horrible. It's just because it was dirty. I don't even care about somebody living in a pristine freaking mansion. I don't care about any of that. You can live in a shack, but you can live in a clean environment for your children. I'll never apologize for that either. And am I saying that have I said that they have done something to Summer directly? I've never said those words that come from my mouth. Have I said that I think they know? I absolutely have. There's a difference, but I'll never apologize for anything that I've done. I'll never apologize for standing up for Summer and for Summer first and for Summer only.
Well said. I get asked the question a lot, and I think probably pretty early on in this case, I hate even watching like early broadcasts of myself because, it's just like, you suck. But I don't know how objective or fair I was at the beginning. However, I've never stopped feeling the same way. Now I've looked at other situations and thought, is that possible? Is that not possible? Is it, through that. But some of the people that are sticking up for them now, I mean, I saw some screenshots of like comments from that group, like early on.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, it's just like, holy crap. Like those are strong opinions, and to turn around on a dime like that, I do not know how you can do that. I don't. Now, can you ease it in back a little bit? Can you, yes. But these opinions they were so strong and they were so boisterous about the way that they went about it, and to just do a complete 180. And then, by the way, it's not a 360 because that just puts you in the same exact spot you were before. People do that all the time. Drives me nuts. It's 180. Not even doing a 90-degree angle. Well, whatever it is, a isosceles or a hexagon. I mean, it is a 180-degree turn, the likes of which I've never seen ever in anything.
Mm-mm.
And that to me is what is so weird about it. Now, I respect their right to have the opinion or whatever, but my God, that's
absolutely.
That's a lot. That's a lot to turn like that. Big time.
It is. And I think that's what bothers me the first, Josh, is that they, you can have your opinions and you can feel very as strong with your opinions as I do with mine, and that's completely fine. But it doesn't mean that you have to criticize or block people from interaction or trying to understand and learn more about it. I've never been into the drama-filled stuff to begin with. All I've cared about is Summer from day one. And if people out there that maybe recognize my name or whatever don't recognize that, then you're just a complete idiot anyway, because that's all I'm ever been here for. And I don't really care what other people think about it, because I will always be strong. I can lay my head down every night knowing that I went to bed with integrity and that I was there for Summer and not for any other thing but Summer. So, you know, and I think that's the biggest thing for me is just being able to have these people understand that people can have opposing opinions and still coexist. Like, it is a thing. It's called adulthood.
Yeah.
You know, it's just something that you should learn, go through time. And it's just, you know, that's my biggest thing is allow people to have the right voice. And I feel like you do that here. I feel like you let people come in and challenge things maybe that you say or something, and you allow that. And I think it's fair. And I think it's exactly what these channels are designed for.
Well,
So
I mean, I did
thank you. Thank you for all.
I did take a phone call about a deer blind for 20 minutes.
You definitely did. And I cannot even go.
That was a day.
Yeah.
And I listened.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And my God, Muscle, I appreciate you calling. As always, thank you so much for your perspective and your level-headed thought process. It means a lot. It really does.
Yeah.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you so much.
Muscles and Mascara. She brings the heat every single time. You know, she's fair. She's to the point. There's nothing wrong with that. Sorry, caller, you've been on hold for a while. Go ahead.
Hey.
How do I not have you marked in here? Trev time. Hey, Trev, you getting threatened out there at all?
Just, you know, the regular, the fake lawyers, the Tim posse, all coming out full force.
You got a lawyer after you now?
Oh yeah, with a fake name from like an old TV show. That's how good of a lawyer he is.
I did see that. Yeah, was the guy the TV show guy? Is he a lawyer too?
Yeah, that's the friend. He's the one that's the lawyer. He's the one they stuck on me after I was a big meanie head to the world.
Oh, okay. Yeah, gotcha. Well, hey. That's just how it is. It's just how it works, man. So what's up, dude? How are you?
I'm good. How are you doing? Just always try to check in and call when I can and let you know that you're doing great work. I mean, your persistence on it is, you've stayed the same. You haven't flipped, turned, no 180s, no 90s, no up 2 cylinders. You've stuck with it.
Up 2 cylinders. Did I say that?
No, I did in the chat.
Okay. I was like, I know I said something and I kind of blacked out for a minute when I did. So I don't remember. But an up 2 cylinder,
but
that's something.
Yeah. But if I could have a second, I want to talk about one thing that came up earlier was the whole idea of losing hope.
Sure.
All right. It's, you know, everybody knows we're coming up on, I mean, almost on 2 years in this case, right? And at least publicly, we seem to be no closer than we were, 22 months ago. And it's like, there are times that all of us get hit with that, like, man, are we really just in like a cycle of, of waiting? Is this going to keep going? Or are we going to look months and months back and be like, we're still here. But it's like, and take it from someone who, and I'm not the only one, but one of many who's been threatened by lawyers and big words and fake accounts and people who want you to shut up. It's not time to lose hope. We have to keep the faith. And even if we can't keep the hope ourselves, we need to keep it for Summer, because that's what she deserves. She doesn't deserve us to give up on her, because as it stands right now, we talk about not having answers. Well, that means Summer doesn't have answers. If we don't publicly have answers, Summer Wells doesn't have answers. And for me, that's the big thing. It's like, sometimes you wake up and you're like, man, do I really want to get back on here and hear the craziness from these people and the nonsense and, the people that will tell you everything you say is crazy, the people that will go on there and say everything that's crazy and what have you. But it's like, we have to get to a point where it's Summer matters more than any of it. And it's going to be that we stick out our hope only for that, not for Don and Candace, not for Tim, not for any of his cronies, not for any YouTube creators, not for me, not for, for Summer Wells completely. And if we can stick our hope in that, then we can keep the faith that one day we're going to come on here and know that Summer Wells got justice, and that's what matters. Because if we give up on her, and Summer loses our fight and our faith for her justice.
Well said, my friend. Well said. And I think that that's fair. I think everything that you said it's not a biased opinion. It's not a mean opinion. It's a fair opinion. And, God, yeah, I'm with you, man. I'm with you. And you're a special young man. I know that people do attack. Look, I'm under fire constantly. And I understand that, I'm 37 years old, but as a 21-year-old, I don't know how I would handle that. And so I appreciate you fighting the good fight, because your intentions, I 100% believe, are pure. This isn't something that a bunch of people just decided to get into and talk about one day. It just happened. It's just happened. We've all just kind of shown up here because of this situation. One day has brought us all together, whether we like it or not. Sometimes we do, sometimes we don't. But you're doing fine. Don't let people intimidate you. Don't let them tell you that you're not doing what you feel is right. As long as you're not, and you don't spread any misinformation. Your opinion's your opinion, Trevor. You're allowed to have your opinion. Just like the people that tell you that you shouldn't have an opinion, that's their opinion. They're allowed to have that. Right. So talk about an obtuse triangle, or what is it? A rectal thermometer?
Obtuse cylinder.
Oh, gotcha. My bad.
Something. all of the above.
Well, I appreciate you, Trevor, and it was well said. Don't give up on hope.
Well, I appreciate it. And I appreciate you, Josh. I'm so glad that I, came across your channel, and it's like you said, it brought us together. It was, I remember June 15th, the same way Muscles does. It was, I got the alert on my phone, missing child one county over.
I know you did.
And it wandered off, and, you hope that that's all it is. And then days pass and things start coming out, and then it's like, okay, we gotta, there's more to this, and we have to stand up, because, back then and now, one thing was known: Summer was missing. There was a lot that was unknown. But one thing I knew is, as soon as that alert came in, Summer lost her voice. Summer Wells no longer could speak for herself and had her voice. And that's when it became apparent that myself and others had to get up and make sure that she kept a voice, because somebody or something silenced it. And we were going to have to be the ones to stand up and give that voice.
Once again, well said. You're wise beyond your years, my friend. You hang in there and keep doing it. All right.
Always, Josh. You do the same, and proud to know you and appreciate all you're doing as well.
Appreciate you as well. Thank you. I mean, he's just a great young man. Anonymous True Crime, thank you so much. That's very, very generous. And let me just read it. Oh wow. Okay. You've proven yourself hours upon hours of work. For Summer, you deserve all Summer's Army's support along with Trev. Know you are appreciated, and I appreciate that, and I appreciate you saying that. Yeah, I appreciate you, Anonymous True Crime. You're a fantastic supporter. So thank you as well, because I know the same way like Muscles and Trev and there's so many of you guys that I can't even name one by one who fight in the trenches to bring accurate and fair information to this case. And let me see. Also, I want to give a shout out to a dear friend of mine. I love her like a sister, and her and I converse about this case a lot. And I believe it is this young lady's birthday, Noelle, in the chat, aka Noelle Spiders, one of my favorites. Just such a big supporter of this channel in so many ways. I can't say enough what you mean to me and to this channel, and to just being, when I was down with the vid, Linda and Noelle, who had both had it, really talked me through a lot of rough days. And, Noelle's been here since, the beginning, and it's a very, very special person. So happy birthday, Noelle. I hope I didn't embarrass you. I know you shouldn't be embarrassed that it's your 25th birthday. I'm late to my next show, and we're probably not even going to get on the air until 10:30, but we're going to get on the air. Noelle does actually paint spiders. That's true. She loves spiders. I believe Linda's at work. Thank you, Noelle. You're the best. All right, so 10:30. I'll see you guys at Lab After Dark. Thank you so much for the phone calls, the super chats, the stickers. Anonymous True Crime, your generosity. Happy birthday, Noelle. Just, you guys are so fantastic. I appreciate each and every one of you. You guys take care. And we'll see you Lab After Dark. Make sure to be there. I don't know if mods, have you put Lab After Dark in the chat? It should be a good one. I don't know. I really don't. Like, I always say that, but I can never.
There is no investigation. This boy has.
There is not. Really? This to me. Don't say any F's and stuff.
But I have to put her on the side.
I'm gonna do what I gotta do for me and my boys and my kids.
Don't say any F's and stuff.
There is no investigation. This boy has.
There is not. Really? This to me.
Right. Idiot. I've done my best. It's hard, that's real tough.
But I have to put her on the side and worry about the boys.
I'm gonna do what I got to do for me and my boys and my kids.
Don't say any F's and stuff.
Live from the NBD Production Studios, you're in the lab with your host, Joshua Diaz.
There is no investigation. This boy has
not really. This to me. But I have to put her on the side and worry about the boys. But I have to.
there is no investigation.
Don't say any F's and stuff.
But I have to put her. But I have to put her on the side and worry about the boys.